Hey, everybody, how's it going? Gunnar Nelson from Nelson here.
Matt Nelson, his brother here.
And you're listening to and watching our close personal friends Tom and Zeus on the Shout It Out Loudcast. Don't touch that dial.
Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. I like it.
The album is the self-titled debut by the band Boston, released in 1976, and we're here to celebrate the 50th anniversary with our friend and Shout It Out Loudcast Hall of Famer Murph for episode 78 of the Album Review Crew, a special episode. It's the Patreon ARC pick. It's three guys from Boston. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary, and Murph is going to be here for feedback and all the fun stuff. Welcome, boys. It's a Boston band right here.
What's up, guys? Nice to be back. It's been a while. I think it's 3 years, maybe.
I think it was. I think you did the Who's Next was the last time on ARC.
Correct. All right. So maybe a year and a half.
God. That was the changing of the guard.
That's right. That was our first new third man in.
Well, good to be back.
Yeah, well, good to have you. And nobody better than this if we're going to do a Boston album, so.
Yeah, Murph, seeing him the second time this weekend. Murph and his lovely better half, Christina, came with me, Tom, to the NHL draft at the TD Garden on Friday.
Yep.
Great time there. I do have to tell this story. I put a photo up, and I was like, I can't wait to tell this story.
I can't wait to hear it either because I don't know it.
So it was a good time. We get there. It's kind of busy. Not many chairs there. Blinky Barry Peterson walked by us, and Steve Casper.
Oh, Jesus.
I was telling Murph, like, fuck Steve Casper. I'm still pissed that he benched Cam Neely and fucking Kevin Stevens that time.
Yeah, I know everybody is.
And then Raccoon Eyes, the girl from Nesson that interviews people at the Fleet Center, at the TD Garden.
Fleet Center.
Yeah.
What are you going to watch the Patriots at CMGI Field?
At Sullivan Stadium. So we're there. We get there. We're like watching them, like hearing stuff. I'm like, dude, the Bruins already traded the pick. They even made the first pick, and the Bruins traded. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? But they did have some good food. And now that I think about it, Murph, maybe that was the cause.
The guacamole.
I didn't have any guacamole, but they did have like fajitas, Tom.
Ooh, I like fajitas.
Some chicken fajitas, and we got some food. We hung around for a little bit. Walking out, all of a sudden, this guy, two black guys that look like they were fucking the street profits from the WWE. One guy got so loud and animated and grabs Murph. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to get my ass kicked. What the fuck? This guy's like, it's Murph. Hugs.
What?
Dude, I've never seen another human being so excited to see another human being than this guy was to Murph. He fucking hugged him. He was screaming at his friend, this is Murph. I love him. He's my mentor.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought his friend looked like, yeah, what happened? Had no interest in Murph at all. But his other friend, the guy that Murph was talking to, was so excited. I'm like, I got to take a photo, memorialize this fucking event. I've never seen anybody happier to see somebody. And I took that photo of him and Murph. And it was so surreal. It was just so different.
And that is the type of person he is. It's someone that I,
in case he's listening to our show, right?
And he started working for us right after he got out of college. great kid, has always just been that type of person, just so happy, everything so positive. And I saw him first and I called his name out, and then he had that reaction. And by the time he blurted out, Zeus, I think I saw you like twitch.
Yeah,
what the hell?
What the fuck?
Zeus thinks it's like a World Cup soccer riot in the middle of the friggin'
I didn't understand it. And part of it's like, why is this man excited to see Murph?
Well, I can say we're excited to see Murph, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But it was just a surreal time. And then we went to Kelly's roast beef on the way home. I was like, I guess I'll get a small. Let's get a large, Murph says.
Yeah,
Super beef and cheese.
Those last couple bites were tough, Tom.
The fajitas weren't enough that we had. We had to have more.
So I woke up the next day and cursing him out because at 2:30 roughly, I fucking destroyed my bathroom like I haven't destroyed my bathroom in years. It was horrendous.
Nobody has GI issues like you. I mean,
it was horrendous. And I'm like, what the fuck? Murph ruined Kelly's roast beef for me.
Well,
but it's probably the fajitas.
You went from the fajitas. You had the chicken. I don't know if you had.
I didn't have the chicken. I just had the steak.
The steak
fajitas, and they were very saucy.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor, just for the sake of our audience, because you know how our people are? Why do you keep saying fajitas? You know it's pronounced fajitas.
It's a personal joke.
No, I know. But we know that, but you know some friggin' fajita tard is going to comment on this.
My wife's Mexican.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
She calls them
gave
fajitas.
me permission to call it that. So anyways, I don't know if it was the steak fajitas or the roast beef.
With mayo.
Mayo and American cheese.
Wait, you had mayo on the roast beef?
Yes, mayo's awesome on roast beef. It's better than barbecue.
No, it is not.
Yes,
You're
it
insane.
Is. Absolutely. Barbecue is not meant for like red beef. It's meant for chicken.
Mayo.
Oh, yes, it is. I always, when I get a roast beef.
What about heavy mayo?
Yeah, mustard, but not on roast beef. I can do mustard on an Italian, but I like mayo on a roast beef with American cheese and pickles. That's
no
it.
wonder you are freaking soiling yourself at 2 a.m.
It wasn't the mayo that was doing it. Believe me,
it was the grade E beef that you got from Kelly's.
There was nobody in that place. I'm like, is Kelly's going out of business? They were probably pissed that we walked in there.
The guy cleaned out the bottom of the fryer to give you a sandwich.
What's left of? Do we have enough beef to give out one more order?
God bless this kid when he wakes up in the middle of the night.
This should have been thrown out on Thursday. What day's today? Well, Friday. All right, fuck it, give it to him.
This kid, he won't know.
Well, and then we got clam chowder, and it was basically like potatoes in milk.
That's poor Christina. Oh, disgusting. It was water.
Jesus. I'm just visualizing potatoes and milk. Oh, gross.
And thin milk, too.
Skim milk.
Just not right. Just not. But anyways, we have Murph, 3 Bostonians, to talk about Boston.
Yes, indeed. This is our Patreon pick.
But before we do that, we got to go in the complete opposite direction of music.
Oh, God.
And go back to Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, boy. Okay.
All right, Tom, lead us off.
Yep. So last month we did Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue. That was Zeus's pick. We had our buddy Tony Musalem from Restrained to be the third man in for that. And as always, we did a poll. So starting with our Loudcasters Facebook group poll. Favorite song options are Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, Same Old Situation, and Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away. No surprise, title track wins the poll at 38. Kickstart My Heart at 28. Same Old Situation at 18. Don't Go Away Mad at 16. Couple comments on the Facebook poll here. Our buddy Steve Wright from the Potter Than Hell podcast, now a fellow Patreon member. Yeah. He says, same old situation is my favorite that's listed, but She Goes Down is the best.
Yes.
Good God.
She
What
goes
is wrong
down.
with both of you?
She goes down.
Charles Eaton, Dr. Feelgood for when you want the heavy, SOS when you feel like singing, Kickstart My Heart when you feel the need for speed, and She Goes Down and Sticky Sweet are the 1-2 punch when you want to party. Well, I don't know about that, but God bless you. Good God. Jason Alba says, I remember getting this album on cassette at Tower Records. I was in junior high and this album was playing everywhere. Motley at its peak. Saw them for the first time on this tour with Faster Pussycat. Yeah, Faster Tards. Kickstart My Heart is my favorite song of them. Great groove, mixed solo is killer. She Goes Down is a hidden gem. My second favorite song from the album. Our buddy Wesley Ship says, the video for Without You is so bad. The band themselves doesn't even acknowledge it on their official YouTube channel.
Oh, no, really?
That's fucking I don't know if that's true because I am not a Motley YouTube tard. Let's look at the Twitter poll here. The Twitter poll again. Dr. Feelgood at 50. Kickstart My Heart, 37%. Don't Go Away Mad at 12%. And same old situation comes in the rear with barely a vote. And let's see what people have to say on Twitter about this album selection. Todd Herring says, pew! Come on, Patreon. Let's right this ship with our pick next month. Well, let's see if he likes Boston. HairNetRadio.com says this is still an instant classic.
Hey.
Our buddy Vet Halen, sure, go ahead and shit all over my wedding song.
Oh.
I see how you are. Dude, he had Without You as his wedding song. Sorry.
Is that his first marriage?
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Aggie Dad and Tiger Grad says, I love this album. I saw them in the mid-90s, and they started the show with side 1 of Dr. Feelgood, tracks 1 through 6. Really cool way to start the show. Then he tells me to buy this album. No, I won't. Yes, the Beatles part at the end of Slice of Your Pie is totally awesome. It saves the rest of the song. Saves the rest of the song from what? It's horrendous. Anyways, Zeus, that's what we got on some poll feedback. Let's throw it back to you.
Okay, so let's go to the Book of Face. Anthony Stockholm says, the height of the band. 5 years later, they're on a hooligans holiday.
That's true.
Hall of Famer Izzy Presley.
Uh-oh.
I must say, Without You is a very well-crafted, well-written hard rock love song. And the slide guitar is a beautiful touch, something different for the times it was recorded. Just my opinion as a musician.
Terrible opinion. That song is horrible.
It's about as horrible as photos of you in the early morning.
Eating Boston cream donuts when it's 100 degrees in Vegas.
In short shorts that he wears.
Oh.
Hall of Famer ABCPA Inc. Anthony Barone.
All right, the tax man.
Holy shit. As I was about to
Yep.
read it, who just texted us?
I just saw it. We just got a text from said Hall of Famer, Izzy.
Is he or is he not fucking not a pretty sight in the morning?
Oh, my God.
Anyways, Anthony Barone writes, yeah, Bob rock.
Yep.
The great Jason Warden, sweet. Back when albums lasted. Looking forward to y'all's take on an album I blasted through most of my high school years when Motley was my favorite band.
Okay.
Steve Warsap, the porn hero, again, put down his rankings. We love when he does that. Backpack Brad Rustoven. Got to get that guy, Brad Rustoven, in here. I've always been more of a hits guy with Crew, and the album had lots of hits. It was the soundtrack of my junior year in high school. Other than the hits, the rest of their songs just aren't that good, mostly filler. Regarding the title cut, I can't remember if you guys mentioned that the riff is a lift from AC/DC's Night of the Long Knives.
Somebody else said that, and I love Night of the Long Knives.
I don't get it.
I don't see it. So I don't know, but I believe you, but I don't know. I don't see
And
that.
I've got to be honest. I'm a self-proclaimed Without You Tard.
Oof.
Always love that song.
Wow.
Congratulations, Brad. You just fucking entered a group filled with Izzy Presley.
Yeah, the two of you are on a Without You island.
Unbelievable.
Yuck.
I was fortunate enough to see Crew Fest 2 in 2009 when they played this album in its entirety to celebrate the 20th anniversary. The show started with them playing the title cut in a small padded room before the full new stage was revealed. It was awesome. Made me wish a certain band would have gotten this creative with their live shows over the last 25 years.
Gee, I wonder who they're talking about.
John Gross. Funny story about this record. Toward the end of my mom's working career, I used to drop her off and pick her up because my father couldn't drive anymore. So I'm listening to this album, not even thinking about the track list. All of a sudden, that fucking zipper sound comes on. In an instant, I'm like, holy fuck, I got my mother in here.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't shut this off fast enough. Great times. Just wanted to add to the discussion. I was red-faced the rest of the drive to drop her at home. She wasn't a big fan of She Goes Down, Down.
Mom, listen to this new song. It's really catchy.
With all of my friends, she goes down.
Ugh, God.
Backstage pass, she goes down. All right. Over on Loudcasters, Adam Marson says, rather than be weary of Terror in Tinseltown, which may be a candidate for worst title ever read on ARC, I think I'm more likely to run when It's Time for Change. Is that the fucking Brady Bunch song?
When it's time for Murph knows this. Murph, chime in on this one.
I know, Murph. That's definitely you.
See, there he is. That's why he's in our Hall of Fame.
I forgot that part of that song.
Oh,
I just remember something like autumn turns to winter, something like that.
Winter turns to spring.
Oh
there you go.
God, what is the matter with both of you?
Because we used to play that album junior year, remember?
No, I know.
Yeah. I think we had a battle of the worst song from our rooms, and I think I won by playing this.
Yeah.
Or was it I played Ebony and Ivory?
Oh, that was a contender.
One of those was up there.
Oh, God.
Great times.
Yep.
Guest third man in, Tony Musalam, who is apparently still fighting with
Tim
Stock Mangione.
Not to be confused with Chuck Mangione from the classic yacht rock era of music.
Okay. He writes, what the heck? Why do I sound like I have a lisp?
Oh, yeah. I know. I don't know what he was picking up. I thought he sounded completely fine, but
Told him, get that cock out of your mouth, dude, so we can hear you. Jesus.
Get that slicey of pie out of your mouth.
Oh, man, there's a fucking 1,000 comments here. I'm going to have to cut back some of you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mikey Zamboni. I just love this guy's
Greatest name ever.
Hey, guys. Great show. I love this album when it was released. It was the peak of its genre, and I was totally into it. The songs and lyrics were of the time. To laugh at the lyrics is to laugh at the genre. Every band had cringe lyrics. But what I don't understand is how we went from Dr. Feelgood, Revenge, etc., which were about fun, rock and roll, and cruising around looking for a hot, fat chick, to Nirvana, whose songs sit in a dark room and slit your wrists. Pew!
That's what happens. Everything swings. The pendulum swings. They got sick of talking about slicing your pie, and it was more about slicing your wrists. I mean, that's what happens in music.
Gordon Duncan says, yeah, it's hard to believe the sincerity of Without You when you also saying, you're my 10-second pet.
That's a good point.
Mike Murphy, 11-year-old me played this album until the cassette tape wore out. Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart, shout Same Old Story, Don't Go Away Mad are arguably some of the best songs in Cruise catalog, in which to this day I regularly listen to. And as ridiculous as She Goes Down is, I'm with Zeus. I think it rocks.
I cannot believe how many times we've said She Goes Down this episode so far.
She Goes Down cards.
Oh my God.
With that said, Without You and Time for Change are two of the worst, cringiest abominations ever written and recorded in the history of music. And aside, being a long-term Pearl Jam tard. I take issues with binaural hate. Out of the 13 songs on the album, 8 are solid to good, but I digress. As usual, great episode. Looking forward to Electric Angels review next month.
No, thank God, no. Binaural is not a good album, sorry. I mean, you're talking to 3 of the biggest Pearl Jam fans there are. Binaural's not good.
Finest
Kiar!
Agratides. Hey, yeah, you got Morty on with you this week. All right.
Morty. I forgot about that. Morty.
Remember, he kept saying it. It's like, hey, what's Morty? We're like,
the greatest accidental nickname ever.
We're like, who the fuck is Morty? Your mate that you hang out with.
Yeah, well, we had been together for like 24 hours at that point. And
he was still saying.
It was at the end of the comedy show, went that first night.
Where's Morty? I'm like, who's Morty? You think your friend Morty?
Morty. Anyways, he writes, great show. This album is a good choice. Deserves all the accolades it gets. Even though, like you guys, I like Shout at the Devil more. I remember interviewing Tommy Lee. Oh, he interviewed him. Tommy Lee, fellow Grecian back in the day. He was a blast back then. Great production, great tunes. Very little filler on this. 8 out of 10.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Hey, mate, you got a big cock. Want to look at my fight? Oh, the great Joe Decker. I jumped off the Motley Crue bandwagon after Shout, but this album has a few decent songs. Without You, single-handedly destroyed hair metal ballads.
That's so true. Yep.
The great Lana Cooper. Really fun episode in dissection of the songs, guys. This was the very first album on cassette I ever got.
Oh, wow.
I go back and forth on whether Feel Good or Too Fast for Love is my favorite Crue album. And it's a hill I will die on, but Mick Mars is one of the most criminally underrated guitarists.
Yep.
Not sure if it's fatigue of hearing some of the singles for so many years and the queasy feeling of hearing Kickstart My Heart lose its teeth whenever it's to shill for a car commercial Pixar fight sequence. But a lot of the B-sides are so underrated. I'm still lukewarm on Time for Change. Oh. It's got some good elements besides the repetitive chorus, but still much better than the all-time Crue album closer ballad boner killer, Brandon.
Boner killer.
On Generation Swine. All right. Let's go over now to Blue Sky. Christopher Hamilton. I had this on CD only, which means you played a few songs that I have no memory of even hearing. I'd almost swear Slice of Your Pie and Rattlesnake Shake were added for a 25th anniversary re-release if they weren't the 3rd and 4th songs. That's what happens. You forget after a while.
Yep.
Let's go now to YouTube. TJ James Music. I'm only listening to this as I write this. I will start by saying that I'm a complete Motley Crue tragic and love everything the band has ever done. They're the only band that I can say I love every song. Huge Kiss fan as well. I think your podcast is brilliant. It's a privilege to listen to. I think Dr. Feelgood is an absolute masterpiece, not only for the brilliant band that is Motley Crue, but also Bob Rock. There was not a bad song on this record. Hopefully one day you might review Motley Crue 1994, which is the greatest album I've ever heard in my life.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
That being said, love you, Tom and Zeus. Listen all the time. Congratulations on being so awesome from Sydney, Australia.
All right. Well, thank you. Very cool.
And he also adds, just for the record, because I know you were talking about this in the episode with your guest, I've seen the band 7 times. I've only been to Australia 6 times. And also for the record, Mick Mars lost the lawsuit, and he admitted on looking that that about the backing tracks that I think he lied about the backing tracks and lip sync. I don't know.
Interesting.
Really know.
Okay.
Unseen Death Force adds, the quality between the singles and the album tracks is legitimately jarring. Also, Motley absolutely uses vocal tracks live. Search on YouTube them doing On With The Show live in the past few years. I legit laughed out loud at the juxtaposition on Vince's shitty normal vocals to the perfect my part in the chorus as he lip syncs it. Anyway, that's what I got, Tom. Back to you.
All right, let's take a quick rundown of what we got left here on Spotify. We always like to remind everybody you can comment directly from Spotify while listening. Couple comments here from Non. As a kid, I would get Mick Mars mixed up with Vinnie Vincent all the time.
One less handsome than the next.
Oof. Julian says, the shift in tone from She Goes Down to Time for a Chain is as jarring as a punch in the face. Hilarious to consider Motley Crue as self-aware enough to write a funeral song for 80s rock. It sounds like an audition tape for Doc's Make a Difference trip to Moscow. Can't remember who compared a song off this album to Zeppelin, which is some take. Motley Crue is probably the biggest rock band that I can't get into, and this album comes up the schizophrenic nature of the band perfectly. Interesting. Our buddy Kevin Doyne, and I was in a band my senior year of high school in 91, and we played Kickstart My Heart at the talent show, only to be followed up by Sympathy for the Devil. All I can do is shake my head. The video exists somewhere. Oh, okay. Couple things here on Instagram. Dave Rockstar. I really like all the singles from this album, but the rest of the songs are pretty average, if I'm being honest. Anyway, I got blocked by Nikki Six on Instagram for some unknown reason, so I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast, as it would probably block you guys too, as he's way too sensitive. Oh, God. Fred Harvito says, same old situation is my favorite song from this album. Thanks to the movie Dirt, I love the highlights from the band. It fits perfectly in the movie. Dr. Feelgood, still a solid song, and I always liked it since I was younger. Thank you for the awesome show. Love the album review episode. And Tom, you're right. This album cannot be the best of the group. I was one of those who said this. And after the show, I was like, damn, he's right. I was wrong. Oh, see, I love when I change people's minds. A couple emails here before we wrap up. Our buddy Josh Parham just finished listening to Dr. Feelgood review. Very nostalgic. When this came out in 89, I thought it was great. The sleazy songs about sex really appealed to a 15-year-old me. Now looking back, most of these lyrics are terrible. Rattlesnake Shake. As Tony mentioned, Skid Row did it better. I would say this is their third best album behind the debut and Shout. And I did forget how catchy Same Old Situation is. Kickstart My Heart and the title tracks are all classics. As always, really enjoy listening to ARC. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, Josh, for always providing some nice feedback. Our buddy Yanni Aslak Rossinen from Finland sends us a 2-for-1 email. We'll read the Motley part. To me, it's their best effort. Even better than Shout at the Devil, and that's because of the outstanding production by Bob Rock. The sonics of the album are superb. The drums especially sound huge. No wonder Lars wanted to sound the same, though he is not Tommy Lee. Tommy is and always will be the MVP of Motley, and like you guys noted on the episode, Dr. Feelgood is kind of the final hurrah and closing chapter for hair metal. They even pass on the torch on the last song, even if the band themselves weren't aware of it. I like Time for a Change. I think it's a very pleasant nod to 70s British glam acts like Martha Hoople and Bowie. My affair with Motley began with Theater of Pain and ended with Feel Good, and I haven't had a reason to look back. Then he says, P.S. Sorry about the hockey championship. For once, we have a good team in the tournament. We'll meet on the ice again next year. Zeus, I don't know what he's talking about. You're the hockey guy.
Is he from Carolina? I mean, that's who won.
I don't know who. I don't know. But anyways, and that's Dr. Feel Good feedback.
And that closes the chapter on him. Thank God.
Thank God. Exactly.
That's from Major League, right?
Major League. Yep, Major League.
That closes the chapter on it. Vaseline ball.
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's turn the page. We're going to go to Boston. This is Patreon's pick. Tom, you want to lead us off?
Sure, yeah. So, man, talk about nostalgia. Good God. Very, very vivid memories of this. If you listen to our KISS podcast, which I hope you do, the story of my introduction to like music was my older cousins up in Maine used to spend summers there, and they were about 10 years older than me, and they had stacks of vinyl, and they had them on the floor, and I used to flip through them because of the artwork. 3 albums I remember. I've told the story about Love Gun, which got me into KISS, and I still have that. 3 albums I remember vividly being like, what is this? It was KISS Love Gun. It was Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster, if you look at that album artwork, and it was the Boston debut album cover. And I'll never forget just being taken in by the album itself. And at that time I was, too young. I mean, this came out when we were 3 years old, so I don't remember listening to it then. But I do remember, and I'm interested to see if Murph remembers this, freshman year in high school playing freshman football. This cassette, along with Public Enemy, was always played in the locker room for football. This cassette was constantly played, and it was at that time when I was about 13, 14, where I legitimately, absolutely fell in love with this album. Just in 40 years later, it's kind of the same thing. It's a timeless album. It's an album where every single track is constantly in classic rock rotation. Preparing for this was one of the easiest preparations I've ever had to do because I know this album inside and out. I have the vinyl. We'll get into the artwork in a minute, but this is just a very special album for me. Forget about the fact that the band is from Boston, but yeah, I go all the way back with this one, Murph. What about you?
This is crazy. So when we talked about me joining for this episode and I sent you a note at the time, I go, I got a story for you.
Yeah.
I was introduced to Boston, so where you said you had the older cousins, I didn't have older siblings. So my first introduction to Boston was Third Stage.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
Which came out in 86.
Yeah.
So, that got radio play. We weren't listening, at that time I was listening to Top 40 radio and never heard about the debut album until late August 87, freshman year. And you telling me,
see,
this album is incredible. And coincidentally, you always talk about how your sister introduced you to music.
Yep.
Wasn't she at one point dating the quarterback who's playing this music?
That's correct. Yes, indeed. Yep.
And that got played continuously.
Yep.
For the first couple of weeks of the season, and it's catchy. We'll get into all of it. But what's surprising is, we all lived together. We introduced each other to music, or we just got connected, like we've talked about with Kiss. But this was an album, even though, like you said, it inside and out. I always just heard it on the radio. I don't think it got a lot of play at Stonehill, which is odd.
I don't think it had to get. It's one of those albums, and just let me. I don't mean to jump in, but it's one of those albums that you kind of never had to play because you always heard it when you got in your car.
BCN and WZLX.
Yeah, exactly.
Like down your throat.
No one sought this out, not because we didn't love it, but because there is fatigue factor, and of course we'll get into that. But anyway, Zeus, go ahead. You take it.
I don't know this album at all, other than More Than a Feeling, which is shocking.
I don't even. Have you ever been in a car before with the radio on?
Not to those stations. I never listened to BCN. I fucking hated them.
Wow.
Too busy playing fucking the Smithereens and shit like that. I liked AAF much better because they played more LA hard rock, hair metal kind of.
That
shit.
was later on, though. That was way later.
When
on.
I was younger, I wasn't listening to. I didn't control the radio and stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
I know More Than a Feeling. The other songs, when listening to this album, they kind of sound familiar, but I'm like,
wow,
I don't know them. And being from Boston, it's surprising. I remember hearing about this album and the band.
Yeah.
But the band that I grew up with from Boston was Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And Greatest Hits and all that stuff. All those songs were familiar to me. So this was not anything that I was familiar with, surprisingly. No, it was never played at Stonehill. I don't remember getting into anybody's cars. They were playing this.
Nope.
It was a BCN type of band. Playing BCN's playing Jay Giles, Seeger,
Skinner, Zeppelin, classic rock.
They also
all the
played
time.
A lot of shit that I can't stand. Critically,
oh yeah, of course, Jethro Tull and fucking
the fucking Del Fuegos, whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, that's a Boston band. Yeah.
It's Smithereens and shit like that. And so anyway, it got picked, and I'm like, all right, I know More Than a Feeling. So everything.
So you don't know rock and roll band or Smoking or
never.
Wow.
Heard of
Okay.
Never heard.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
You know me. I like a lot of music, but I'm also very niche driven. If something's not familiar to me, I generally don't.
No, I know, but to me, this is one of those albums where just being young music fans, it's almost like you absorb it into your DNA, even if you don't seek it out. I never really sought out Boston. It just couldn't avoid it.
Let me think about it, right?
It's like Zeppelin 4 to me. I'm not comparing its greatness. I'm just saying it was always around.
This is kind of Boston, I think, falls in a like a crevice. It's not part of the Led Zeppelin, Who, Rolling Stones,
No.
Pink Floyd niche.
No.
It's a little bit. I mean, Leonard Skinner is almost in there too. Boston is kind of like mid Chicago, like early Chicago music.
Well, it's the precursor to what. They're the origins of like arena rock. They're the origins of arena rock.
So it kind of fell
Journey,
in there.
Foreigner, Styx.
So there's that middle ground that before the bands that I started getting into later on, which is to me, Ozzy, Crew, Bon Jovi and stuff, which came out 80, 81, things like that started picking up. And these guys were before that. But I never listened to James Taylor, although he was probably on BCN too. I didn't get into Carly Simon, Fleetwood Mac, bands like that in those 70s, mid 70s. But the Eagles came to me because everybody knew Hotel California. And then I've told the story before. Somebody left in the student council room, Eagles Live, and it was the only cassette in the student council room, and I would play it because there was nothing else. And that's how I fell in love with the Eagles. If it was a Boston CD cassette in there, I'd be probably telling that story.
Yeah. But it's funny. Yeah, you're right. Because Boston, like, it came out in 76. So for that 5-year span from like 76 to like 81, right? That was you had all those massive albums by Journey, Foreigner, REO Speedwagon, what they call at the time, like insultingly corporate rock. It wasn't hard and heavy. It wasn't progressive. It was accessible, chorus driven, guitar driven, harmony driven, melody driven. And it was like that 5-year period is that owned it. And then MTV came along and then like new wave and hair metal kind of kicked all those bands out.
Yeah. And it's interesting, kind of like you start getting into the niches.
Yeah.
And Boston they didn't fit, because I still don't think, like, when I think of Boston now after listening to this, I put them in the niche of the Steely Dan, Eagles, Boston, that era. They're kind of on their own in those niche bands than like putting them with Led Zeppelin or Leonard Skinner and stuff. I don't think they fit.
The only thing about being a niche band is, like, to me, this album, I mean, and I don't mean this as an insult. It's probably going to sound like one. This album to me is like vanilla ice cream. You put this on at a cookout and your grandmother is going to be like, oh, this is a kind of a catchy song. Like you, even if you don't love this album or if you're not a fan of Boston, it's very
accessible.
It's very accessible and digestible rock music, which I think 50 years later is why it's just like iconic, whether you love it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost music for people who don't like music. And I know that sounds like an insult. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And they were kind of a unique band because they didn't do videos.
Nope.
I think at the time, and I don't know if this was true or not, because, this was like pre-internet, but I think Amanda, which was a #1 song for them from Third Stage, was never had a video.
Yeah.
And in the time of MTV, that was unique. And also, that Tom Scholz, I mean, he almost kind of has a Jimmy Page or Prince, like he did a lot of the instruments himself. He produced it. The story, if you look it up, that the record company thought they were recording in Los Angeles and they were doing all this in a basement in the Boston area.
Yeah, I totally pulled a fast one on the whole thing.
You can't do that without telling the background of the band. And even if you call it a band, it's fucking one guy. It's like Brian Wilson of the 70s.
Yeah.
This one fucking nerd that went to MIT, computer nerd, that created these fucking instruments and this sound recording a la Pete Townsend and things like that, and did everything himself. And then he brought on, I mean, this is the other part, which is amazing. He just so happened, he didn't find like a suitable singer.
He found one of the great,
fucking the most underrated singer I probably can think of.
Yep.
And then he had other guys. Oh yeah, you can do that, but I'm just going to play the bass. I'm going to do the fucking keys on this. I'll play the guitars, all the guitar parts. I'll write all the songs. I'll do that. Can I get a singer to do this? How the fuck did he find that guy?
Yep. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like you said, Tom Scholz. He goes to MIT, has a job at Polaroid, and he's like, I think I'm just going to friggin' become a musical genius and create a guitar harmony sound that no one's ever heard of in their entire life. And music executives are like, yeah, I don't really see anything here with this. Like, this is not a big deal.
How many times did people pass them up?
They all did.
Yeah.
Until one guy he brought to like a cousin, a friend who brought it to somebody else.
Yeah.
To a band, to a record label that already rejected them, but brought it to Epic. Right. And then and Epic's like, oh, hey, we'll try this. Okay, we're going to do this. Where are we recording this? What's the studio using? Yeah, my basement at Stonehill College in Flint.
Yeah. And Scholz even says, he's like, yeah, I was a little bit afraid that they were going to realize I was just a guy in my basement that didn't really have a band to do this.
Yeah. And he like found people.
Yeah.
You know, like what Bon Jovi did with his, it was him doing everything. And then he's like, you know what? I need to get a band because I just got a record fucking thing.
Right.
And then he happens to find like the great writing partner of his time, Richie Sambora. And then all of a sudden it just fucking clicked.
Yep.
Like the connection those two made and the connection that Scholz and Brad Delp made. And it's just random. Like, I'll find this guy. How the fuck you find that guy?
Can we also talk about how the drummer, Sib Hashian, rivaled Mickey Rivers and Juan Epstein for the best afro in the 70s?
Hold that thought. When we get to the artwork, we're gonna get to that. Stand by.
Okay.
I just want to say one more general thing about Boston. The other thing that kind of is a kind of a mark against them is that this album, like, what's that old saying? You have your entire life to write your first album, and then after that. So I love Don't Look Back. Super underrated album. I think it's a fucking awesome album, but it kind of fell flat. 2 years. Then they took 8 years to write Third Stage, and that was a weird album. They're a weird band, and it's probably because they're not even really a band. And I think
that
that's
guy is fucking like right. Gotta be like some sort of autistic fucking genius.
Well, yeah, totally. But think about it. If they were doing what every other 70s band was, like Aerosmith or Kiss, and putting out an album every year where you couldn't avoid them, who knows what kind of career they would have had. But they put this out 2 years later. Don't Look Back was like, and then fucking 8.
Why do you say, they sold 7 million copies of that album.
What? But
rival. They say how great it is. It could be as good as the first.
I agree. Right. But what I'm saying is when people talk about Boston, no one talks about Don't Look Back or Thirds. They just talk about this album.
But I would say it just gets overshadowed because it was the debut album.
Correct. Yeah, no, you're
up
right.
Until Appetite, this was considered like the most insane thing. Like this was a debut album that was the greatest selling debut album of all time up until Appetite.
Yep.
And that's why it got more thing. But I never had this album until now. I bought it.
Yep.
I never had this. I don't have Don't Look Back. I don't have the rest of them.
Yeah.
But when I look it up and I start reading about it, people love Don't Look Back.
Oh, I do too. But yeah,
what's more crazy in how the fuck is this band not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Oh, but it's fucking unbelievable.
How the fuck is this? Just for the musicianship in the fucking stuff that he did on this album that everybody's like, their minds are blown that the sound that he created.
He literally created a genre of music. He created a genre. Like I said, the following 5 years, all of these bands were trying to do what Boston did. Hard guitars, but melody and harmony without alienating the listeners. Melodic
greatest
vocals.
Debut album of all time up in that point.
Yeah, and the other funny thing, too, it's 50 years in August. And I don't know who's in charge of the Boston estate or Tom Scholz and God rest his soul, Brad Delp. There's not a whisper about a 50th anniversary celebration of this. You want a fucking box set? Give me the demos from this album or something.
Dude, yes. Can we hurry up and get to the talking about the fucking band?
What, the album cover?
The fucking look.
Okay, hold on. Let's start off with the front album artwork, which to me is just the fucking dictionary definition of iconic. I mean, just absolutely fucking iconic. I mean, I love the colors. I love the fact that the spaceships are an upside down guitar and the blue flames are coming out of the hole of the guitar.
There's a city on top of the guitar.
Yep. You got, like, I would assume probably supposed to be like the Boston skyline. It is absolutely to me.
Caller, that's not the Prudential Center.
Carl, I think that's West End Johnny's down there.
I think Joe O'Donnell built up the South Bay on that side. Jambalaya.
But yeah, I absolutely love the artwork. The colors just pop. It's brilliant. I have a special edition vinyl where the vinyl is actually the color
Special
blue.
what?
I have a special edition vinyl where the color of the vinyl is the blue of the flame. It's really cool.
So why aren't you showing it to me? I want to see it.
All right, stand by because we're an audio podcast, so I don't want to put.
But do you have it nearby?
Yeah, you can see right here.
Look at that.
Yep, it's the blue of the flame.
Aqua.
Yeah, but more importantly, yeah, we love the front album cover. Can we talk about Sib Hashian's Oscar Gamble? Like Murph said, like let's talk about this band.
You could take this band, the Eagles from 75,
Yep.
Fleetwood Mac band photos, and switch these guys up and throw them in a lineup and be like, and the ELO too. Throw them in there.
And go look at old pictures of Blue Oyster Cult. The same thing.
Just put those 4 bands together in a lineup and give somebody $1,000 if they put each member with what band.
By the way, Fran on the far right looks like James Hetfield's uncle. And then Barry on the left looks like the third guy from the dating game. Like Bachelorette number 3. I'm Barry. Like, I don't know.
I mean, Tom Scholz looks like fucking looks like Roger Wadham's fucking dying brother from fucking cancer, Ethiopian looking fucking bone rack.
Brad Delp looks like he's annoyed to be having his picture taken.
It's like fucking Ernie Bach Jr. from the 70s.
This picture could be Ernie at the Automatics. Sib Hashian looks like he's just trying to stay away from an open flame. I mean, Jesus.
The mustachios on these people. What the fuck? And the froze are just so out of control.
The other thing I like too is it's funny. It's not even on the liner notes. So I have the vinyl. So the back cover of the vinyl has the group photo and the track listings and then all the credits. But then there's a story that it's not even on the liner notes. It's on the back. It's on the back of it. You know, if you're looking to something to tell you the band, it's a little kind of a story about the band. And after every paragraph, it says, listen to the record with an exclamation point. And it tells you where it was produced, where it was recorded. The cover illustration was done by Roger Hyson, and the design was Paul Asher. It's interesting. I mean, but let's be serious. For 70s artwork, this is a fucking crazy cover. Like, bands weren't doing this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That was fucking insane. But getting back to the fucking band members.
Sib.
Barry Goudreau looks like fucking Rick Kehoe from the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was a little guy. What the fuck? And fucking what's that guy from ELO?
Jeff Lynne.
Yeah, Jeff Lynne is in this band somewhere.
Oh, Barry looks like Napoleon Dynamite's brother.
Murph said it great. You
like
put
Pedro?
You put Sib on the Mount Rushmore of afros. You got Sib, Juan Epstein, Oscar Gamble.
but
the other guy looks like from the Fabulous T-Birds there. What's his name there?
Michael Hayes?
No, that guy literally looks like P.S. Michael Hayes from the Freebirds.
By the way, here's a fuck. By the way, are you ready for this, Zeus? We just made an Ernie in the Automatics joke. Are you ready for this?
Popped up on your phone?
Sib Hashian and Barry Goudreau performed with Ernie in the Automatics.
I can imagine.
In 2006. And another thing, Sib Hashian fought in the Vietnam War.
He looks like he's
I don't know. I would love to know how he got a military helmet on over that afro if he's fighting in Vietnam.
What the fuck? I mean, seriously, this band in the future, we recommend you're not including group photo on your album covers.
This right here is exactly why Kiss wore makeup. Can you imagine if they never wore makeup?
They're all facing forward, and Brad's got to turn because of the afro.
Dude,
exactly.
It's
amazing.
It's gonna rival. Who else was it? Like Cinderella's cover.
Oh.
There was another band whose album cover. I think Bad English was bad too.
You want to see a bad
circus
album cover?
outfits?
Go look at some of the back covers of the Rush albums.
Yeah.
Oh man, fucking painful.
There's just what are they on those clothes and those shoes? And
But you're right. But these 70s bands, they had no sense of style, whether it was the clothing or the hairdos, and they all put their pictures on their albums. Nobody wants to see you. Oh God, I love it. I love it.
Look at who the fuck is this guy? Which guy is this in the album? The scene?
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like a fucking Down syndrome Andre the Giant. Who the fuck is this guy?
It looks like a women's soccer coach or something. I don't know.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, we know what we need to do. We need to start rating back covers. That's what we need to start doing.
Album photos.
Yeah, album photos.
I'm telling you, that Revenge of the Nerds quote fucking lives on in this.
Why would you not put? Why would you? Why? It's funny that this isn't in the inside sleeve. This is the actual back cover of the album. Like, hide that.
I don't even see that on my. Oh yeah, it's tiny on the CD.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's not. Look at this, like a poster for me on the back of the album.
Schultz looks
so
like Jeff
true.
Keith.
Yeah, it looks like Roger Waters back there, and Rick Keogh, and fucking. He has
That
fucking.
does look like Rick Keogh. Oh my God, that's a good one. I was waiting to talk about
Michael
that.
Hayes, fucking,
Oh.
and Jeff Lynne in there.
Jeff Lynne looks like a wolf, man. Go look at his pictures with his beard and that afro. He's a fucking
I'm
wolf.
telling you, ELO, the Eagles, fucking Fleetwood Mac, Boston.
Yep.
You put those guys in a lineup and go, I think that's the drummer from ELO.
Dude, do you remember when we had Mike Shue on to review Night Moves by Bob Seger? Remember that band
and those
photo?
fucking neck beards.
Oh my God. Yeah, that nobody knew how to groom themselves back then.
Well, the stars of the 70s weren't as hygienic as they are today, as Kramer would say. It smells like
some
garbage.
For some reason, that just made me think of the classic TV show Battle of the Network Stars.
Oh, yeah.
You have like Gabe Kaplan doing kayak races.
Against Robert Conrad.
And Gabe Kaplan shorts were shorter than fucking the women's shorts.
It'd be like Tom Selleck and fucking like Gabe Kaplan playing like cornhole together.
Fucking Todd Bridges doing ring tosses.
Dana Plato's in the background blowing lines in between commercials.
Against Dick Van Patten is doing the fucking swimming relay.
All right. Thank God this thing only has 8 songs.
All right, let me get to quickly some facts. I can tell you about the millions and millions of fucking greatest of all time where this album falls a bunch of times, but
Yep.
I'm going to get to some basic ones. August 25th, 1976, the album came out. Produced by Tom Scholz and John Boylan. It went to number 3. It's 17 times platinum, 20 million worldwide.
That right there is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, best-selling debut album up until Guns, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame definitive 200 list makes this number 43.
Wow.
But they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I know. It's unbelievable. 17 million. Wow. Unreal.
So 75 million records worldwide, buddy,
Yep.
and not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's unbelievable. Unreal. Yep.
Crazy
Yeah.
when you think about this album and Hotel California came out 4 months apart.
Yeah. And Kiss Destroyer came out not
Dude,
around the same
76 is got rumors, you could say like the greatest albums. I mean, this is a testament to the 70s dominance in music.
Yeah,
There's
100%.
to me, it's just
Especially this era, the 76, 77, 78, like the latter half of the 70s, like right here. Yeah.
Yeah, just 1976 in music is just beyond fucking insane. The
Yeah.
albums that came out and just wow, just incredible. Anyways, let's get to the first track. I think we all know it.
More Than a Feeling, one of the all-time great openers. Even Zeus knows this song. I will start off by saying there are very few songs that I listen to as a music fan that like literally like evoke some kind of emotion, whether it's like goosebumps or nostalgia or some kind of feeling, no pun intended, to this song. And the introduction, the way the song fades in with the acoustics and the story that he's telling with those gentle vocals. And then when that guitar kicks in, at that time, no one has ever heard anything like that. Those harmonics and how it fills the room. This morning before we recorded, I played this on my turntable in my living room. I'm telling you right now, it's what a sonic, like just an incredible experience listening to this full blast, not in your car, not on earbuds, but out in the open. And the chorus with the clapping, More Than a Feeling, and then it calms back down, and then during the verses, and then that guitar, the way it kicks in, and then, I mean, I know we're going to talk about this ad nauseum, but the soloing, the harmonies, the melodies, the blending, the layering, we haven't done a lot of classic rock albums on this, on ARC. We've done a few. We did Night Moves by Bob Seger. At that time, I said Night Moves is like a summer song for me.
1976.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There you go. Thank you. More Than a Feeling is just one of those songs, I know we all have them, where there really is no fatigue. You've heard it 100,000 times, but every time it comes on, it just hits you in a different way. And just More Than a Feeling is one of those for me, Murph.
Yeah. When I was listening to the album, because I have to say, I don't think I ever listened to it front to back prior to getting ready for this.
Yep.
And so when I was listening to it, I actually was trying to picture it of, it's 50 years old. What would have been like, in 76. And, that's a time when people are, if you think about Dazed and Confused, they're going, having kegs of beer, they're in a parking lot. And this is one of those songs that we've talked about how it was almost kind of new genre. This to me seems like one of those songs that girls and guys both liked it. And it had the sing along. And as we'll talk about, as much as we talk about this unique sound they had, the lyrics on this album, simple, but they're all telling a story, and it gets personal when he talks about Marianne. Like, it just feels like, and as we find out later, that this guy was really had a tough life. He was just dealing with a lot of depression, everything that comes in here, but it does hit emotions. And as you said, thinking back, I know over the years, the song comes on very slowly and builds up, and you're like, oh, is my volume up enough? And then all of a sudden it kicks on. It's like, oh no, it was just working its way up. And then on the way out, they kind of fade out. And in between, they're throwing a lot at you on this song in the album, but they're just doing it in a very, it just comes together really well. And I feel like a lot of these songs, Tom is like, I'll throw you some rhythm guitar. Here's this guitar sound that I created. Here's a lot of clapping on this song and on the on throughout the album. But there's a reason why just about anyone between the ages of 30 and 80 know this song and probably know all the lyrics to it.
Yep.
More Than a Feeling, written by Tom Scholz. It was their first single. It went to number 5 on US Billboard. VH1 calls it the 39th best rock song, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Rolling Stone has it number 212 greatest rock songs of all time. I guess Marianne was his older cousin that he thought was hot.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Okay. Yep.
I fucking love the acoustic opening.
Oh yeah.
And the way it builds and that guitar riff and that chorus, dun, 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 dun. It's
amazing.
And then I can't tell if it's the melody, the riff, the vocals, the chorus. the lyrics. It is just one of rock's perfect songs. You can't
That's
explain
it. It's a perfect song. Yep.
I have no fatigue of this song. I've heard it a million times.
Yep.
I would try to skip it when I was listening to this album to get to know this album, but I didn't want to skip it.
Yep.
Like I still like it that much, but I'm like, I already know this. I need to learn the other ones. But I fucking love it. It's so catchy and easy. You think that, oh, anybody could do this. No, they can't. And it's brilliance beyond control, and it's not fatigued for me. Vocals, chorus, that vocal melody hit, and I wrote it down at 3:35. That fucking whatever the fuck he does.
Yep.
Again, it's like, what the you found this guy? Like he didn't just bring out Vince Neil. Hey, I'm a singer. You want to join my band? Like, he got this guy, who is probably the most underrated singer I've ever heard of.
No one ever talks about him.
Yeah, this for a band that I don't know much about, don't know a lot of the songs, but the songs are familiar to me. I can pick out a Boston song a million miles away, even though none of these songs are songs I was really familiar with, but I've heard them. Mm-hmm. I could tell, oh, that's Boston. Oh, that's Boston. Like, and this is just the mountaintop to me of their greatest music they've ever done. It is a perfect rock song, perfect classic rock song. And anybody that says they don't like this is just making it up.
They're lying. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, they're lying. Yep.
Yeah. I'm with you on this. I can't give it more accolades. So let's go to the next track.
We go to Peace of Mind. So this is his story that Tom is talking about, kind of like when he was working at Polaroid, but when trying to get his record contract. And, like Murph said, it's a story. You can hear him. He's talking about it, climbing the corporate ladder, dealing with management, dealing with the business of the music world. One of the strengths of a lot of what Boston does is blending the acoustic with the electric and making it sound seamless, and the acoustic giving a little bit of a lift to that already harmonics that we're hearing from the electric guitars, the way they're layered. And this main riff, after that, you get that little acoustic strumming, that main riff. There's so much power behind this song. Very different from More Than a Feeling. More Than a Feeling is more of a kind of a gentle, uplifting song. Peace of Mind is a little bit more down and dirty, especially during like the verses. And then, of course, just another insane, soaring solo, vocals off the charts. Just a great 1-2 punch right off the bat. And again, I think I may have said this at the beginning. Every song off this album is a classic rock staple. Some more than others, but Peace of Mind is definitely one, Murph.
Nope, absolutely. And this one I feel has a little more of a kind of the guitar hooks right out of the gate. What I actually liked about this was, listening to it after a couple of times, getting ready for this, that how you think the song's over around 3 minutes, 50 seconds. And then all of a sudden that just like, da, 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 the guitar that the hook again, talked about it before on the first song. We'll say it again on a few of the upcoming tracks. Really insightful lyrics. Actually, I think listening to it at our age, the things that we actually kind of get preoccupied with, with work and all the bullshit. And then the line, can't you see there'll come a time or come a day when it won't matter, and peace of mind. So, something written 50 years ago has a little nuggets of, just focus on what's important. But as a song, like you said,
exactly.
Staple all the time. You're hearing it still to this day. And another 1-2 punch right out of the gate, like you said, and we're going to probably say that going into the next few, but incredible start to the album.
Yeah, the other part too, I forgot to mention More Than Feeling. How about that fucking fade in?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just that slow fade into the song. All right, so Peace of Mind, again, written by Tom Scholz. Third single, it went to number 38 on Billboard. It was Tom writing about his time when he was at Polaroid.
Yep.
If you remember Polaroid from around
in Waltham,
in Massachusetts, right?
Right off of 128.
Yeah. And what's funny is like they're talking about the studio that he had in Watertown, Mass. I'm like, I coached over there in Watertown, Mass. So the song has been on Grand Theft Auto 4. Striper covered it, Tom. I know you're running out to buy that.
Big fan.
Yeah. Again, an acoustic opening, solid vocals, guitar, and that woo. After the first verse, I thought he was going to do whoa, China Grove.
There you go. Yeah,
right,
Doobies.
some Doobie Brothers stuff.
Yep,
that's what I thought he was doing. I'm like, okay, I sense the formula here. Great vocals, harmony, guitar, lyrics. I'm like, man, 1970s is just fucking insane how great this stuff is.
Yep.
And it's a good song. It moves, it goes along. And again, I can now know what the Boston sound is. This is typical. And it's almost like, I don't think even if they tried, this band can do a bad song. Like, it's almost impossible. Like, hearing this and as I'm going along makes me, like, endears this band to me as the Eagles. Like, the musicianship, the vocals, the harmonies, everything's done to perfection. I just didn't, the only difference I would say is they only have one great voice, unlike the Eagles, who switches it up once in a while. But what a great way to start track number 2. Okay, track number 3. Be ready in a minute.
Foreplay / long time. Absolutely love this. You got a nice organ intro there, a little bit of prog rock there, kind of doing a little bit of a Russian impersonation there. Kind of goes crazy for a while, and then it just stops, and you think the song is over. And then if you pay attention, you get the very, very subtle fade, and you get the boom, boom, boom. The guitars get turned up, and then it's and then that riff and the reverb and the echo and the way it fills the sound of wherever you're listening to it. And then you got his vocals. It's been such a long time. And during those verses, you're hearing just the drums and just that bass line. And then when you get those drum fills with the riffs, the song is, I mean, it is such an unbelievable song. And the fact that I like how they had the balls to make Foreplay part of it, because we've talked about this before, Zeus, where a lot of bands will make this like its own track and it's part of it. And I like how it has its own name and everything. It's incredible. The organs I love, and they don't sound like corny or cheesy. And I love that it's an organ. It's 76, so it's not like a keyboard, quote unquote, that you heard later on in the 80s. I just think the vocal mix here and what the guitars are doing, and again, the feeling that he evokes, the way that they do the harmonies and the melodies with his tone. I'm not comparing exactly to what like Journey and Steve Perry do. But something that Steve Perry can do with a Journey song is really make you feel what he's singing because of his tone of a voice. And Brad does that with a lot of these songs. I just think this is another standout for me, Murph.
So this song, debut album, reminded me with the organ. I don't know if it was a Hammond organ, but gave me flashbacks to Your Time Is Gonna Come, where John Paul Jones was playing that.
Yep.
At the long intro. I'm a little conflicted with this song. I love Long Time, the Foreplay. And actually, if I can veer back, this is because this is where this song came up with my family. Actually, I do realize that I did listen to this album once before front to back. During the early days of COVID, when we all thought we couldn't leave our houses, we got to the point where Christina and I and the 3 kids, we'd get in the car and we did this. We were like, pick an album. Everyone has to listen to it. And we just drive. So I picked this album.
Yep.
And this song was playing. And I remember one of the kids going, okay, can they get past the organ? And
the beginning, the intro.
But it's of the time, and this is where you were still coming out of these long songs. I mean, I don't know if Long Time was slimmed down for radio play, but once you get into it, it's a great, great song. I'm sure that if folks went to go see Boston perform, this was probably an extended foreplay. Go get your drinks and stuff like that. But once you get into the song, it's great. Just 7 minutes and 50 seconds. When you think about this album's only less than 40 minutes, it was a lot for one song and kind of stands out more. Lyrics itself, I like, but for me, when we get to the end, I think it just did have a slight impact in my rankings.
Okay. Zeus.
Foreplay, long time written, Tom Scholz. It went to number 22 on the charts. When I heard this, which again, I didn't know this song, I thought immediately of Bob O'Reilly opening. Like the key kind of synth opening, running, and then like then the music comes on. I guess they split long time, and that was the single. So when they released it as a single, it was just long time.
Yep.
On the radio. Apparently, Foreplay, the beginning part, was the first thing that Tom Scholz ever wrote or recorded.
That's crazy.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. People claim that this was the marriage of Yes and Led Zeppelin on one song.
Okay.
In the credits, Tom Scholz is credited with top secret space pedal effects.
Oh, Jesus. Relax.
He was just doing something different.
Yep.
Again, the musicianship, the vocals, the guitars are just great. And what a fucking solo.
Oh, so fucking good.
I'm like, this is like an Eagles type of song. And by the way, the outro is just as good. So I'm listening to the guitar on this. I'm like, when have I ever heard anybody bring up Tom Scholz as one of the greatest guitar players? Because this is like fucking virtuoso shit.
Yep.
This is insane. Like the
It
guitar playing is fantastic. Never mind the melodies. And you don't have to be like just a shredder or anything like that to be a great guitar player. Like,
Right.
how come no one's bringing him up? The guitar fucking in these first three songs are off the charts.
It's one of the great guitar albums around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shit that I don't understand. Oh, this guy does what? Because he does instrumentals of guitar that you can't.
Right.
Yeah, you know why they're instrumentals? Because you can't write a fucking melody or lyrics to that fucking music.
Right.
So to me, it's not a great song. So anyway, I think this is great. It's extremely interesting. And usually, you know me, I don't like fucking
long songs.
Instrumentals.
Or instrumentals. Yeah.
But this is interesting, the beginning part. I don't think it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's not like an organ solo. It's an actual song.
No. They'll get into organ stuff in a little bit. But let's move to song number 4, which is strange because there's how many songs on this album?
8.
8. And this is the end of side 1. We're 3 songs in.
Yep.
So let's go to the next song.
Rock and Roll Band. Again, just the hooks on this and the guitar parts. I love this because, again, another story talking about how he worked in his basement in the 70s and he was playing in clubs and working his way up. Mentioning places like Hyannis. You know, if you're from New England, Hyannis is down in the Cape. And just the thing another cool thing I like about this, and I'd be interested to see what you guys think. I like the effects of the crowd right when the chorus starts. So it's like rock and roll band, and you hear like the roar of the crowd to give you that live effect. Is like, this is what we're trying to get. We want the roar of the crowd. We're a rock and roll band. This is what we want to do. And that segment near the end, kind of after the guitar solo, when Brad is hitting notes that nobody should be able to hit. When he's saying sign a record company contract, we got great expectations. Just incredible. More solo, more hooks, more melodies. Just incredible, incredible stuff. I mean, just another banger of a song. This one, for me, I would say probably besides More Than a Feeling, this is the one I seem to hear more on classic rock radio besides More Than a Feeling. I don't know. I feel like this one I know. I'm not saying I like it as much, but I feel like I know this one as well as More Than a Feeling just because of the repeated play on radio.
It's funny you say that, Tom, because in my notes, I think this is the shortest song on the album. It's just over 3 minutes, which is perfect for radio nowadays. Yep. And I mean, we're talking about 8 songs, 4 on each side, and what a way! Like if you are not familiar with band, or if you were listening to this back in the day, of just like, what the hell just happened? These 4 songs that they just threw at you. And each one, I mean, they're all distinct. It's not like they all sound the same, but it's a great story. And I remember once I did find out about the band in high school. And when you start hearing it, it was kind of cool when you heard, making a reference to Hyannis in Cape Cod, where we infamously spent our senior week down in college and had some stories. There you go.
I had a fucking home in Hyannis for a while.
There you go. That's right.
Holy
that's
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But the harmonies on this were incredible, and it was interesting to hear the crowd, when everything is done, with just the new sounds that they threw, that kind of a staple that you've heard over the years, background crowd applause. But just a beautiful way to wrap up.
All right, so Rock and Roll Band. This one actually has Brad Delp jumping in with the lyrics with Tom Scholz. What's interesting about this, the how many bands write about what's it like on the road, and Bob Seger has how many songs about that kind of stuff?
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah. But Boston never experienced this.
Exactly.
So Tom Scholz was writing about stuff that this band didn't do. They didn't. I think it was the drummer that told them about the stories. That
yes. Okay. Yes.
So it wasn't Tom Scholz's personal experience. It was a few other band members that told him what it was like to tour in a band, and he just took those lyrics.
Yep.
Boston itself never fucking earned their stripes on the road like this.
No, because they were never a band.
Yeah, exactly. And when they did go out, they're fucking on their first tour. They're headlining like Madison Square Garden in New York.
Right. Yep.
So they never really got to a point where they're experiencing this. Yeah, and I do love the a band from Boston and Hyannis. For any town's band that mentions, name drops their own cities and stuff, everybody loves that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It sounds like a soundtrack to every rock band and Guitar Hero video game. Like this song is typical of that. Oh, I got to get to this level. Let me play Rock and Roll Band by Boston, talking about earning your dues on the road. Yep. It's just typical of that stuff. I think it's the 2:10 mark, Delp's balls went in a vice.
Love it.
Because he fucking hit something that
it.
is just like, how the fuck does he do this?
Yep.
And again, no mention of him ever. So that's Rock and Roll Band. Let's go Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Smoking. Great follow-up to Rock and Roll Band here. Love it. At the bass line in this song, if you listen to this song, the groove that the bass is doing, along with the drums, obviously our favorite afro-headed drummer there, Sib Hashian, the rhythm section in this song is off the fucking charts. And the solo itself, now, we mentioned it before a long time. I fucking love the little build-up with the organ solo. I think this is so cool. I love how some of these 70s, early 80s bands did weird shit. Some of them have saxophone solos, keyboard solos, organ solos. I think this fits the song. I love how the organ like swirls and then it kind of comes back and you got like a ripping guitar solo. This is like barroom, like boogie shit. Like this is like a band you would see like if you were down the Cape in the 70s. In like, hey, we're gonna go to Puffer Bellies and see Boston play. And, this is the band that's going to kind of jam out to play Smoking. It's fucking killer track. Absolutely killer track.
Yeah, I had here that this, I don't know if they did clubs, what, type of venues they played, but this actually sounded like something where they would, encourage folks to start dancing to the beat. Because it had one of those, it felt like they pulled something from, the 50s, the poodle skirt eras where it just had a beat that you could bounce to. And then, of the time in the 70s, then they've got the organ that just, continues to feed in throughout throughout a lot of the songs. But it was this song here, by the time, I mean, he sounds incredible on all of them, but Delp just sounds effortless when he sings too. I'm really curious if his voice held up as time went on, because he hits these crazy ranges, but it doesn't seem like he's screeching.
The thing I would add, by the way, Smoking by Tom Scholz. I'm like, is this a ZZ Top song?
Exactly. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, it sounds like fucking Hand Jive from Grease. Right?
Yep.
That's the 50
poodle skirts. Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for someone to dip underneath the girls, like to the guy spreads his leg, the girl goes underneath, and he
Goes
kicks her
underneath
up,
and does the
flips her in the air and stuff.
Yep.
It's just a very groovy song.
Who, Jeff Conaway?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Let's review the Grease soundtrack.
People were like 45.
Fun fact, I've never seen that movie start to finish.
Oh.
Nope. Although Olivia Newton-John might be the most smokingest fucking thing that's ever come out of a 70s movie.
Olivia Newton-John in the 70s has a lot of great country songs before she did Grease and started doing more pop songs. Like
she also has a lot of great
Physical.
80s songs like Physical. We should do an episode on that video.
I think half the podcasters in the community are in that video. But that
video was filmed at Creatures Fest.
Naturally cute and beautiful in the 70s.
Yep.
Just in her figure and shoes and that waist and she was just a gorgeous woman. And, and she had such a great 70s kind of country style going back then. Anyways, this song is on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Is this one of the songs where you can like punch a lady in the face and then turn on the car radio?
You beat up a fucking hooker and then take her money. My favorite was with the original. I had Vice City.
Yep.
You'd be like, you have 3 minutes. Here's a gang of Dominicans. Here's a chainsaw. Kill 25 of them in 3 minutes. And you have a chainsaw and you chainsaw 25 Dominican gang members. What the I was like, dude, what redeeming value was this fucking game?
Dude, the fact that they just announced GTA 6 is coming out in the fall. I can't even imagine what the fuck that's
all 5 of those earlier GTAs were done quicker time than GTA 6 has come out since 5.
That's right. Yep.
Dude, they even did a Law and Order SVU about that game.
Yep.
Elliot Stabler was like, this guy ran this woman over and took her money. And his son was in the station at the time. He goes, oh, yeah, it's just like the video game. They're like, what video game? Let me show you.
Yep.
And they're all like, all the cops are watching the kid play. And they're like, why are you doing that? Like, oh, because I get the money. Then I get the money. Then I can get more gangs and I can get more drugs. And I can meet up with these And they're like, the fuck is this shit?
It's like real life.
25 Dominican or Jamaican gang members in 2 minutes with a chainsaw. What the fuck?
Hey, everybody has their goals.
Yeah. It's life goals, Tom.
We just went from talking about Olivia Newton-John to killing Dominicans with chainsaws in 5 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. You didn't have much time.
Sorry, it wasn't even 5 minutes.
And this also has a John Lord type of
there you go.
key solo. There's
Good
a lot
call.
of John Lord kind of music in this.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Smoking's a groovy kind of song. Again, I don't think they're capable of doing bad songs. So, let's go to the next one.
Hitch a Ride. Love it. Love the nice little calm acoustic. This is good because after you had Smoking, you got this nice little calm, cool intro, kind of a more thoughtful song, maybe a little sad song here a little bit. And then you got the rest of the song with the guitars kick in. You got an extended outro, a soul that feels like it's never going to end. And I mean that as a compliment in a good way. I feel like this song right here kind of showcases all the best of what Boston can do between the acoustics, the vocals, and the guitar work, the harmonies, the soloing, the layering. I feel like this, I don't know if it's the best song on the album, probably not. But I feel like this really encapsulates everything that the band or Tom and Brad can do together from start to finish. This song, maybe it's because I'm an old man. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, this song's pretty good, but it doesn't have the balls of Rock and Roll Band or Smoking. I just think this is a standout track for me, and I think because it kind of takes you on a journey from where it starts and where it ends, and I just think Hitch a Ride is fantastic. Plus, I like the lyrics. Like, it's kind of a cool story. I like what he's talking about.
Yeah, Tom, I have in my notes here an older man's song written when young. This was perfect. This one was the surprise of the album because I don't think this gets a lot of play. I mean, I don't remember ever hearing this. I'm sure it's out there from time to time, But yeah, I don't know if haunting's the right word, but it just, because especially where you find out what ultimately happens to Brad if you read, it's like, okay, is this, just being reflective? If it's about moving forward, you can read it a bunch of different ways. And so you got strong lyrics, and then as the song progresses, just the guitar kicks in and drives it home. But for me, this was definitely the surprise, and was worth just being pulled into this episode to hear this song in particular.
Yep.
So Hitch a Ride again, Tom Scholz, acoustic again, going to California-ish. They both even mentioned smoking in the first lyrics.
Yeah.
Smoke my duff. Nice soft rock. Like, who is this? Bread?
Bread.
But I kept thinking, what does this remind me of? And I'm like, all right, it's not so much the Eagles. It gets me back to reminding me of the album that we've already reviewed. And both are kind of Tom staples. Seeger's Night Moves.
Yes.
Is it Sunspot Baby or Sunburst? Which one is like that kind of mellow, kind of that song?
Sunburst.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I believe you. But it has that kind of thing where it's like, it works because the vocals and the guitarist and the stuff knows how to write a song.
Yep.
Whereas I probably, any other band, I'd be like, this is boring. What is this AM shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very, again, another 76 album. Think of 76. Never mind the two Kiss albums. Seeger, Hotel California, Rainbow Rising, this.
Yep.
Captain and Tennille.
That's why we have Murph on.
Yeah, just even Presence. I mean, wow. What a fucking year for music and albums.
Yep.
And even Rumors. And I don't even like the Fleetwood Mac, but I can say that's a great album. Just very melodic, great music. Again, who the fuck would you be playing this to at a cookout? We'd be like, oh, turn this off.
Yeah, what is this? This sounds like crap. I don't like this music. I don't like these vocals. This guy can't sing.
Yeah. Versus, I don't know how many Kiss albums we could play where at some point somebody doesn't turn around and go, you know what? What the fuck is this we're listening to?
Did he just say burn, bitch, burn? Could you turn this off? What are we doing?
Right? I can't think of one Kiss album that if everyone's like listening to the background, at some point doesn't go, what the fuck is this shit, by the way? Even Destroyer, at some point you listen to Great Expectations, someone goes, did he just say clutch your breast?
Yeah, Nana, what's the matter? You're not a fan?
And you see what Paul's fingers can do.
Oh, my God.
Are your fingers good?
Your fingers good.
Right. I think this is an album that I don't think anybody's turning back to you, oh, Tom. What the fuck is this? Nobody's complaining.
Yep.
All right. Couple more songs left.
Yep. Something About You. So this is the part of the album where you've been listening to the tracks. You know the riffs. You know the melodies. You know the harmonics. You know the vocals. Something About You. This is when you start to be like, what's that? How does that one go? Because I heard Smokin'. I heard Rock and Roll Band. Remind me about how this one goes. Now, I know how this goes because I listened to this album. I'm not saying I'm a Boston expert. But I kind of like the little beginning, the little haunting, the way he's kind of like howling a little bit at the beginning. You're like, what's going on here? And then you just get that wall of guitar when the riff comes in. And I love the great chorus, kind of like that, not a gang chorus, but like, it isn't easy. And, I know, like that kind of stuff. Good song. Zeus, I think you said it perfectly. They're not going to write a bad song. They're going to write songs that are some are better than others, but there's no song you're like, this doesn't work for me. This is a great song, and it's not one of the best ones on the album. It's still fucking great. That's what I'll say about it. It's a great song, but it's not the best on the album.
It's funny when I saw the title, Something About You, I immediately thought that 80s new wave song by Level 42.
Dude, that's a fucking great song.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
There's something about you, girl.
So good.
Yep.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
And it looks like a guy with like a big face is on a fucking train, isn't he? In the video. It's like his
I think
face,
so.
his head isn't that him? Oh,
And
there's
that
just
face!
something about you. Girl. He looks like the guy that plays General Zod in Superman.
Oh,
that actor that I like.
Yes.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
got like an enormous, expressive, like hard rock face. You know?
Good call, Murph. Pulling Michael
Zeus.
Shannon out of
Well,
your ass.
he's been in two of Zeus's favorite things,
Boardwalk
the,
Empire.
and the George
Yeah.
Jones
George Jones story. Yeah.
Yep.
with his favorite Jessica Chastain.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, smoking redhead. You don't find those too often.
No.
There's a fine line with a smoking redhead and fucking ketchup crotch fucking hairdo. You're just like, yeah, not good.
Crotch. She's hot.
So, yeah, this here are my notes I had. This is kind of interchangeable with other songs on the album that it blends in. It has a lot of the similar traits. Felt like this could have been released as a single. I don't know,
Yep.
and would have had success as well. I laugh with some of the lyrics. I've talked about it, but where it says, "When I was younger, I thought I could stand on my own." I'm like, these guys are in their 20s. Like,
Yep.
are you really being that reflective if you've lived that hard a life? But yeah, this is just another solid song on a solid album.
Yep.
Something About You by what's that band again?
Level 42. Why do you know that?
It's a good song. I like that.
Yeah, no, I
It's that
know.
new wave British shit.
Yeah.
Written by Tom Scholz. Tom, I've listened to this album. I listened to this album. Up to about a day ago, I knew the songs.
Yep.
The one song that I thought about, I was like, wait a minute, how's that fucking go again?
Told you.
And then I was like, purposely, because there's the one song I couldn't think about, I try to think of, like, now because there's something about you. Like, now I know what the song is. And I like when he says the title in the song. It's actually a little bit, his voice is a little bit higher in this song.
Yep.
And it's a pretty straightforward rocker. I actually likes it. It fits the album in the sound. Again, nobody's complaining about this song. Nobody.
No.
Decent rock and roll song. So,
Yep.
all right, last track.
We got Let Me Take You Home Tonight. Great fucking way to end the album, in my opinion. Kind of a country song, maybe. A little bit softer, a little bit more kind of emotional, kind of a ballad. The only thing I'm not a big fan is when it kind of turns into a hoedown in the end. Like that's kind of I kind of wish it faded out a little bit more kind of peacefully the way it starts. Because I think it's a really cool song. This is a song that could be, the Eagles could pull this off, obviously. I think with that acoustic kind of country, kind of southern flavor to it with the vocals. I think it's a great song. I like that a song like this ends the album, because it could have been easy to kind of blow the album out with Smokin' or Peace of Mind or something. So I like how this ends. I'm just not a big fan of that kind of, that end piece. Kind of the big, like I said, kind of like a hoedown, kind of like woo kind of thing. I just don't like that part. But take that out. I think this is a really cool song. Again, it's a different side of what the band can do. It's not a kick-ass rocker. It's not, it's not More Than a Feeling. It's not Smoking. It's its own thing, and I think that's unique. So I do like this track a lot, but just not that last little bit.
I thought you putting this as the last song, Let Me Take You Home Tonight, last song on the album, I thought that fit well. The beginning actually, it made me think of something of that time. Like, it sounded kind of like Lynyrd Skynyrd. It just had that,
Yes.
that beat, but I did note of, it was kind of unexpected. They had that upbeat twist at the end where a lot of their songs were kind of more fading out, but, they had to end it with one song. I think this one here was as good as any, but it was just a little bit of a surprise with that kind of hoedown, as you said, for the last minute or so.
Yep.
Yeah. So Let Me Take You Home Tonight, written only by Brad Delp. Maybe that's why this one's a little bit different. And this is the only one that really wasn't written in the basement. So the sound, if you listen carefully, it does sound a little bit different than the other songs, because it's the only one not recorded really in the basement. So this is very AM rock.
Yeah.
And I like the hoedown, as Tom calls it.
Yeah.
The beginning of this song, it's SNL did a parody one time, and I was like, "This what's it reminding me of?" And it was the worst of Soul Train DVD. And they had all these crazy bands, like skits and stuff. Fucking Keenan had one where he's like 20 members of his family that are doing this stuff. And he's like, we only have one bathroom. Our house is stinky. and then there's a part where Jim Carrey comes out and he's singing just like this 70s type of AM gold radio stuff. And then he's like, oh girl, like that. And he's just so cheesy look. And the chorus is the payoff. And he just goes, can I see one titty? It is fucking hilarious. Look it up. SNL, one titty, Jim Carrey. It's fucking hilarious.
So is this Boston's one titty right here?
Yeah. It's just that AM gold kind of sounding type of music.
Yep.
Afternoon delight shit kind of.
They couldn't fight it.
No, but I'll tell you though, man, I love the 70s. I love this shit.
Yeah.
It reinforces now that to me, like, what's the best era of music? I don't think it comes close anymore. This era was way better than anything else.
Oh, the 70s is fucking brilliant, dude.
What's so great about all these bands that we talked about the 70s, we still didn't even talk about the Stones fucking music from the 70s.
Nope.
Like bands like that.
Nope.
Just incredible music. And Boston is part of that story. So I can just say, as far as my final thoughts, I didn't know this album. I know More Than a Feeling. I can say now that I can pick a Boston song apart a mile away. Just like Tom brought Bob Seger, who I knew the hits, and then I got Night Moves, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get the fucking rest of this shit because there's not a bad song on that, and the band is fantastic. So I will get into the discography of Boston, and this is what ARC was meant to be.
Yes.
This shit.
Exactly. Yep.
On my own, I'd probably go through life without fucking knowing anything from Boston other than More Than a Feeling. Mm-hmm. This makes me want to go out and buy the rest of their stuff and gives me new, found respect for Tom Scholz, who's still out there playing.
Yep.
And the band itself. Sadly, I think Brad Delp killed himself.
He did in a horrible manner. He killed himself. Yeah.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's always insane to think about successful musicians and what they have in their life, and to think of the pain that they must be going through, that they think that's the best thing.
Yep.
So,
terrible.
Yeah, horrible. But
terrible.
This music should live on. This is some of the most underrated in the history of rock and roll guitar playing, underrated vocals, and this is one of the greatest selling albums of all time, and I'm still calling it underrated.
Yep.
It's just insane. That's all I'll say.
Murph, final thoughts for you?
Yeah, Zeus. I mean, I think for you or the listeners or even myself, like, you want to go deep down that rabbit hole. There's only 3 albums, so you're not making a huge commitment.
There's more than that. They've released 2 other.
Technically, they released a later one called "Walk On," which is kind of terrible.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just look
more
at
than that, from what I understand.
And then they kind of had like a spin-off band called, I think, Return to Zero or something like that. But for me, it's the debut Don't Look Back in Third Stage.
Yeah. And Don't Look Back, it could very well end up on this podcast at some point.
Yep.
They have Walk On in 94, then they did Corporate America in 2002, and Life, Love, and Hope in 2013.
Literally never even heard of those last 2.
Yeah, for me it would just be the 3. But no, I was ecstatic to get the ask for this, because this has been in our lives for since we were 3 years old, and we came to it at the high school years, and this truly fits the definition of timeless.
Yeah, I was thrilled that Patreon picked this one. I've always loved this album. It's always been in the rotation, and it couldn't have come at a more perfect time, because to me, it's one of the perfect summer albums. And we're in the middle of a New England summer, It's cookout music. It's hanging out in the yard music. It's driving with the windows down music. It's feel good. It's just feel good music. It's that kind of music when you're hanging out and, not to get corny and nostalgia, but we're 53 years old. We're getting corny and nostalgia. It's the kind of music that you put on when you're just kind of like hanging around and doing what Brad and Tom did, which is kind of like sing about the old days, sing about life and where you are and where you were. And I just think it's a brilliant album. And, 50 years of this. And I wish there was kind of making it a bigger deal. Again, I don't know who's running the Boston estate, but, I know the 50th anniversary is in August. Maybe something will come about, but, thrilled to do this album and couldn't have been more thrilled than to do it with my two best buddies, all Boston guys. So just a ton of fun.
Yeah, this was surprisingly the pick. A couple people picked this. We put it in the poll.
I didn't think it would win.
Yeah, this blew everything away.
Yep, surprise. Yep.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Anyway, now we're going to start ranking the songs. 8 songs. Let's start us off, Tom.
Okay, number 8 for me is Let Me Take You Home Tonight.
Number 8 for me, Let Me Take You Home Tonight.
Okay.
I have Hitch a Ride.
Ooh, ouch. Okay. Number 7 for me is Peace of Mind.
Number 7 for me, Something About You.
7 for me is Smoking.
Okay. 6 for me is Something About You.
6 for me is Smoking.
6 for me, Something About You.
5 for me is Rock and Roll Band.
5 for me is Foreplay Long Time.
5 for me is Let Me Take You Home.
4 for me is Smokin'.
4 for me is Rock and Roll Band.
Yeah, that's what I have for me as well. Rock and Roll
Okay. 3 for me is Hitch a Ride.
Ditto. 3 for me, Hitch a Ride.
There you go.
3 for me is Peace of Mind.
Okay. 2 for me is Long Time Foreplay.
2 for me, Peace of Mind.
2 for me is like Tom, Foreplay Long Time.
Okay, and to no one's surprise, we have one of those special events on ARC where everybody has the same number 1 song. Of course, the legendary More Than a Feeling for all of us. I would have punched both of you in the nuts if neither of you had this at number 1. Thankfully, you did.
Wasn't even a hesitation.
Yeah,
Yep.
This is definitely going into the top 50 for us. So
Yeah, exactly. One of the Ernie and the Automatics, I'll say. We'll put it. It's just one of the absolutely best songs that we've ever done on ARC, in my opinion. So
Yeah. All right, that pushes that to the side. What we do next is this. Tom, what makes you rock hard?
So I've seen a couple movies lately in the theaters and, on streaming and stuff. And I came across one that I thought was kind of interesting. It was it's like a horror dark comedy movie, and it was directed by Sam Raimi. And if you know anything about Sam Raimi, he has a knack for that stuff. He's the guy that directed the Evil Dead movies, which are legendary from the early 80s, kind of gory and graphic, but have some kind of tongue-in-cheek dark humor. So he made this new movie called Send Help. And it stars Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien, and a couple other people that I'm really not familiar with. And it's a story about Rachel McAdams plays like this super dorky corporate girl. And she's been asked to take a flight with the higher up cool guy executives of this company. And the plane crashes and she's stuck with one of them and they have to try to survive. But there's twists and turns. There's gore. There's thrills and spills and chills. There's dark humor, stuff that you're not supposed to laugh at, but you are supposed to laugh at because the way Sam Raimi wrote and directed. Highly entertaining. Rachel McAdams was kind of really shockingly awesome in this movie. I think it's streaming on Hulu. There is a little bit of gore, but it's like goofy gore. It's almost like gore that's made for you to like laugh at. Got a really cool ending. I just found it really, really entertaining. I had heard a lot about it when it was in the theaters. So when it came available for streaming, I was really excited and I was not disappointed. Very, very fun movie. Send Help by Sam Raimi.
All right. For me, I think you all have heard of the movie Jaws, but this week with the 4th of July, I will be doing what I've been doing on an annual basis is watching it sometime between Memorial Day and the 4th of July. I know that this movie has been discussed on the podcast, and it's just a staple, I think, for many of the listeners. And I've probably seen this movie more than any other. And we've talked about with this album, Perfection. I think that's what you are getting with this movie. And I am for Mayor Vaughn. He tried to keep the beaches open. He was thinking about the businesses. He was only doing what he thought was best for the town.
You just like his sport coat with the anchors on them.
That is incredible.
Yep.
And you know what? The Kittner kid, his fingers were pruning. He should have came out of the water.
His mom was like 80 years old.
So you're saying Alex Kittner got what he deserved?
He had it coming to him.
What was she doing having a kid that old?
Fuck those kids.
Yeah.
We were
No,
talking
you're right.
about the 70s. She was probably like 40.
It's funny. It's funny. I don't think there's
right.
3 people that love Jaws more than the 3 of us. It's fucking, it's great.
Except
It's a
for
staple.
Charlie Benante.
Yeah, good point.
All right, so I was going to put a movie in. Then I thought about it. I haven't done this in a while, and that is music. I haven't talked about music and stuff. So I bought a CD recently, which came out, and it was just got released, like I think beginning of this week or last week. And it's called Ride the Rainbow, the ultimate tribute to Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow.
Oh, I heard about this. How is it?
Not Shitbow.
Oh,
Rainbow.
Rainbow. Okay, not shitbow. Okay.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
Nice. Okay. I heard about it.
What's great about this is they didn't do what everybody would expect in this. Oh, we're only doing Dio shit.
Yep.
Because Rainbow just released a box set, and it's only like the first 2 albums. And it's all Dio stuff. And it's like 16 CDs. And it's all fucking live versions of the same songs. But regardless, this one starts off with Long Live Rock and Roll by Graham Bonnet, Bumblefoot, Don Airey, Bob Daisley, Carmine Appice are on it.
Nice.
Man on the Silver Mountain, Sebastian Bach, Doug Aldrich, Jonathan Cain, Carmine Appice, Bob Daisley.
Phew, that's
Stargazer, Ronnie Romero. He played in Rainbow for a little bit. Marty Friedman, Derek Sherinian, Vinny Appice, not Appice. Lady of the Lake, which I realized later on that became the favorite song off the Europe album, Heart of Stone, is done by Angel.
Ooh.
Rainbow Eyes, done by Mike Tramp from White Lion.
White Lion,
Since
yeah.
You've Been Gone by Graham Bonnet, Marty
Nice.
Friedman, Vinny Appice. And there are more people, but I don't. These are the names I know. Kill
Nice.
the King, Vinnie Moore, Rick Wakeman, Bob Daisley.
Wow. Dude,
The
they got
Temple
like
of the
top
King.
tier people doing this.
Jonathan Cain, Ronnie Romero, Steve Moores, Phil Susan,
Wow.
Jealous Lover, George Lynch, Jonathan Cain, David Ellefson, Vinny Appice, I Surrender, Tim Ripper Owens, Don Airey, Phil Susan, Catch the Rainbow, Doogie White, who played in Rainbow, Derek Sherinian, Bob Daisley, Vinny Appice, Street of Dreams, Joel Hoekstra, Jonathan Cain, Stone Cold, Joe Lynn Turner,
Dude,
Vivian Campbell,
what a-
Bob
is this
Kulick.
Is this on vinyl?
I Surrender, acoustic by Candace Knight,
Wow.
Richie's wife. Fucking thing is awesome. Because we have to do Boston and I didn't know the album, I played it so many times, I would cheat and put this album in. It's fucking incredible. Love it.
Dude,
And
it's on vinyl and it comes in on rainbow swirled colored vinyl.
oh,
I'm getting it.
keep it in your pants with the rainbow swirl. But to me, it's a great tribute album, and it's got a bunch of people that we all know. What I love about it, because Rainbow always has great keys in their songs,
Yeah.
you know, Derek Sherinian, Don Airey, and Jonathan Cain, 3 great keys right there. So pick it up. I love it. You know, I'm a Rainbow tard. So finally, I get to talk about music. I haven't done that in a bit. So
I'll definitely get that. Those lineups. Let's be serious. Some of these tribute albums can kind of be hit or miss with who performs on them. That's like top tier shit right there. That's good. Don't say
Stargazer
it.
performed by
Be nice.
Heavy Metal. fucking Kevin Jepsen and Izzy Presley.
We got Chips Enough doing Kill the King.
I like that Chips Enough gets more humor than three of our listeners.
You know what's going to happen? Our buddy Izzy's going to be like, why are you teasing fucking Enough's Enough? It's fantastic.
Oh, we'll get plenty of. What are you talking about?
Oh, the Enough Tards are going to fucking go nuts.
Their fourth album is a classic.
Dude, every time I think of Chips Enough, I think of him loitering the lobby of the hotel in Creatures Nest in his pajamas.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right.
Anyway.
Jesus.
Tom, time to do ranking. Wow.
Boy.
So this is first we do covers.
Yep.
What's your top 5, Tom?
Top 5 covers. Number 5, Rage Against the Machine, Blizzard of Oz, Purple Rain, Master of Puppets, Diary of a Madman. This cover fucking rules. It's legendary. It's iconic. It's bright. It's colorful. I love the guitars as spaceships, the blue flame, the skyline. I'm putting this at number 3, Zeus.
Whoa.
Yep.
You are pushing down Prince in a beep beep, his moped.
Yep. Prince in his little moped are going below Boston.
Wow.
Yep. I fucking love this cover. Absolutely love it. One of my favorites. Yep.
Top 5 for me: Diary of a Madman, Appetite for Destruction, Blizzard of Oz, Hotel California, and Elvis NBC TV special. I do really like this. I do think this is iconic. I'm like, is this ahead of Nevermind? I would say yes. It's ahead of
Depends on if you like naked babies' peepees on your album cover.
I will put this at number 8.
Ooh, all right.
Very
Nice.
It's iconic.
We're paying respect to an album that deserves it.
It's
Yep.
iconic.
It is.
You can't say enough about it.
Yep.
So I put it just ahead of Master of Puppets, underneath Slide It In.
Okay.
Let's go to album rankings now overall.
All right. For my albums at number 5, I have Dirt, Shout at the Devil, Purple Rain, Moving Pictures, and Master of Puppets. God damn, this was a really tough one because we have some fucking amazing albums in the top 20, top 15 for me. And Boston is, we say this all the time. It could be this number, and then next week I could put it, at number fucking 2 or whatever. I don't know. But today, right now, the way I'm feeling, I'm going to put it at 13. Probably a little lower than it deserves. Probably should be higher, but it's hard because I got Pyromania, I got Appetite for Destruction, I got 10, I got, I just too many great albums, and Boston is great, but 13's pretty high, I think. I feel happy with that.
All right. So my top 5, Blizzard of Oz, Automatic for the People, Nevermind, Hotel California, and Elvis NBC TV special. I am going to put this at number 42.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
You know what? That's actually not too bad for somebody who doesn't really know the album and you're hearing it for kind of the first time.
I
So that's
like
good.
the album.
That's good.
I'm putting it above 5150 and underneath Detonator.
Fucking Rat Detonator is ranked higher than the Boston debut.
I love Detonator. I love that album. I have Metallica ahead of that. The Black Album, Vision Quest, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. Wow.
I have that just above Wasting Light in Ultimate Sin, too.
Okay.
So that's where I rank that.
All right.
Tom, where can people find us?
Yeah, if this is your first time listening to us for some strange reason, we're usually an all Kiss podcast, dropping Kiss episodes every Saturday. We do these album review crew episodes once a month, reviewing a non-Kiss album, as you can tell we've done today with our buddy Murph. You can visit us on our website at shoutoutloudcast.com, find out all about what we do, all of our episodes, all of our albums, all of our rankings, all of our links to our social media. Our email address is shoutoutloudcast@gmail.com. And we always like to remind everyone that we're a proud member of the Pantheon podcast network of shows.
Yeah, what we always like to do is end on famous last words. Murph, you're one of the few people that get to stick with us for this part. So why don't you give us your famous last words, please?
Gladly. Dancing in the streets of Hyannis. We were getting pretty good at the game. People stood in line. and didn't seem to mind. You know, everybody knew our name.
Sail on a distant highway. Yeah. I've got to keep on chasing a dream. I've got to be on my way. Wish there was something I could say.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day. I lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes and if you can't imagine how the song goes at this point,
Yeah.
slipped away.
Yep. Fucking awesome.
God damn it. Murph, Tom, Boston, Loudcasters, Kiss Army, Hyannis Tards. Thank you.
Guys, always great to be here. Great to see you. And thank you for the invite on such a great album.
Awesome time, Murph, Zeus, incredible. Thank you, Patreons, for picking a great album. Appreciate it. Sibtards and Afrotards unite. Zeus, as always, my friend. Murph, my friend. Thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout.